You actually don't blow anything out.
I blew something.
Does it summon orcs?
But, well, no, it does summon someone, though.
Okay.
The guard comes rushing in from the outside. What is this? What is going on here? Why are you... And then he sees the horn, and he's like, what is actually wrong with you?
I stole this horn from Orc Leader.
There are many theories on that, actually. He goes back to his book.
You stole this from the orc leader.
Well, stole is a strong word. First, I crush skull, then I take out of hand.
Stole.
And is this the first time you've let blast this horn?
No, I have been playing it almost the entire time I've had it.
He's not lying.
That's what.
How interesting. So, we have heard these horn blasts on occasion from the north, typically in the hills.
This horn was used to rally his compatriots. So I would assume it summons orcs nearby to come to the aid of the one who blows.
Has a very distinctive sound, this horn.
Keep rolling.
Would,
In town.
would you be...
Where we thought we were safe.
No, I don't actually do that, okay?
Okay.
I'm not a zany
He
man.
was like, wow. Look, well, your DM's just got to keep rolling because you stupid. Like, that's crazy. How 13 more, 17 more. You like, can you just roll it for me?
Are you
Just
saying
roll
that
for
this
us.
is some sort of enchanted artifact?
I don't know that it's enchanted,
It
but
literally summons
it definitely appears to be some form of communication that the orcs are using. In the past, well, we honestly didn't know what was making that noise, but the sound as it carries across the hills is very distinctive.
You city folk are so strange to me. Why would one not use horn to contact compatriots? In any case, I have no use for it if you need it in order to do whatever you have to do.
At this point, the administrator puts his hand up to his mouth, and you see a small piece of wire in it. And he whispers something into his hand, and he says, "We don't use horns because we use magic." And you're the only one that hears this.
Well,
Would I recognize a piece of wire in a level 1 spell?
I have to do my best Conan impression here. What devilry is this? Who speaks to me? And then I pull out my great axe.
You didn't recognize the voice?
Please put your weapon away. I was simply demonstrating a point.
Okay. You must forgive me, I am always on edge.
I understand that you are always on edge. My door made that quite evident.
It's funny you should say that because I put your door on its edges
But
and then
don't.
knocked it off.
Barbarian hero.
Yep.
Tasha's
He's
idiot.
a yep.
All
Alright, that's it.
So with that,
Yes.
you are all free to go. The administrator makes quite clear that he is finished with you. You may leave, and
Oh yeah, you could go.
yeah. I will have more information with as far as the scrap of paper itself. Hopefully within maybe today, with the information that you've given me and the things that you have encountered. I believe that it would be of great benefit to understand this sooner rather than later, so it takes a much higher spot on my priority list. So I thank you all very much for that. And with that, he looks back down at the paperwork he's been working on and has effectively dismissed you. The guard himself says, "We'll head this way if you don't mind."
One point, actually. Have you looked through this library yourself?
I've perused a few of the books, perhaps.
What would you recommend?
What is your area of interest? You look as if you might have a magical bent, but I do not notice the usual trappings of the book learned spellcaster.
Not a standard of magic. Prestidigitation, just a light shower of sparks, and then hit my cane twice on the floor, and it also sparks it as it hits the floor.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not leaving a mark, but just going.
Sure.
She
No,
tickles people's balls. No, I'm chicken.
but I'm always looking for something new, something off. Yeah.
Man, so I can make my thumb come off. You're like, what the hell?
Where's his thumb go?
Like, where's his thumb?
Is this perhaps your card? Absolutely.
Where's your card?
Practitioner of the magical arts, but not your standard mass. Look for things unique, special.
Oh, I ran a
Much like this
charlatan
lodge
magician
magic.
once.
And is
Had
there
no magic.
a specific? Is there a specific calling or discipline that speaks to you? Is there anything that, or is it all just a jumble?
You could say that I'm a man in search of a calling.
You could say that I'm a man.
You could say.
Depends on the day. That's also magical.
Hey.
But then, perhaps these two would be of use to you. And at this point, he pulls two books off of the shelf. One of them appears to be a treatise on.
I didn't say anything.
I can see it. On.
I'm about to get an alcoholic beverage today.
I am too.
I'm already one deep, and I didn't eat beforehand.
I bring up books once and everyone leaves. Oh.
He's like, let me get a book. Oh yeah, let me
On
get out of here.
elemental magic. And how it is impacted by ley lines. That
Man.
by that in theory crisscross
Crisscross
the comments.
Applesauce.
Man, I can't with y'all.
Huh.
The other one
So, I'm sorry.
theorizes
Thank you.
on the origination of the chaos of wild magic and how it can exist on the prime material plane, which is in its or by its nature dependent on order to exist.
I don't have an ocarina. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
Instruments are you guys' things.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it all.
The instrument of adventure.
So he gives you these two books.
Like I said,
I shall return them in 3 days.
I'm finna be.
Thank you.
I
enjoy
think
your
you
insight.
My
And I'll
character,
take my
And
my character's literally gonna be Link.
unless I pick up.
I'm gonna create Link.
okay, go ahead. That's fine.
Okay. Unless I see him continuing conversation, I'll take the hint and
Nope. He
be gone.
he takes the two books down and slides something into the book of wild magic.
I'll
And-
take note,
Yep.
but not read or anything. Just thank you and out.
And that's it.
Awesome.
Seeing shit.
Catch up with the crew.
Do that.
Yes, I mean, I take my leave as well. So,
We going to the blacksmith because I gotta get my.
oh, well, I mean, I have
You
no
gotta
real
finesse.
reason to go there right now.
Oh,
I
you're
was
not
gonna,
going
I was
finesse?
gonna, wait on it.
We're going to the blacksmith.
You
I gotta
know,
go.
I'm kind of tired. Gonna go, probably go eat or something. You know, you guys go to the blacksmith. I'm gonna go eat.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get my.
You guys want anything?
Back to the inn for food, or
He said, "Y'all want anything?" I'm gonna go to the store. You
My
want
head-
something?
No, right?
does anyone know the closest Chick-fil-A?
I don't support Chick-fil-A.
Oh wow.
Taco Bell, then maybe.
Oh wow. Yeah, I'm gonna get these swords real quick. I'm just walking towards the blacksmith.
He's just playing Fruit Ninja as he's walking through the
Gorm,
pokey needles.
he'll wish his compatriots a good day and simply head off to brood a bit at the tavern.
Okay. So Gorm heads to the Fat Pig,
I got these swords on the way.
and as you come out into you come out of the mayor's house and into the street. For the first time, you really see a number of townsfolk, where the streets are typically pretty empty. Surprisingly, you see here at midday quite a few of them, and it really speaks to the fact that hey, other people actually are in this town other than just the tavern keeper and the blacksmith and the mayor and his administrator.
Imagine that.
Yeah, so you see a number of farmers that are just heading up and down the road. You see those sorts of things
Okay.
happening.
Where were you?
With this one heading off, does anybody like catch my eye, stand out any way, or are they all just ragtag, dirty
Make a
peasants?
perception check.
Roll it.
Because I have a thing against peasants. Ugh.
Oh! Anti-peasant magic.
13.
13.
Human extinction.
So you are horribly disappointed at the number of peasants that surround
I'm
you.
glad one.
Horribly.
Horribly disappointed because they are
Wow.
almost to a person
They are mere gravel.
It's
peasants.
sickening.
Sure.
I can
Alright.
almost
Beyond
smell
that,
it.
nothing really catches your eye, or no one.
Mhm.
I mean, you see a few items of clothing that look a little finer than others, but the people that those belong to, or that they're being worn by, quickly disappear from sight.
Who's the dirtiest person here?
The dirtiest person
Yeah,
here.
what's the most horrible hobo? What's
You know, there are a number of them because the vast majority of these people are up
make a shield.
before sun up, and they are in the fields working or doing other tasks like mucking out stalls for horses or I mean, just lots of things. I mean, this is very much a rural town in every sense of the word. The vast majority of the work that's done here is physical labor.
Gotcha.
Can I ask real quick? I'm sorry.
No,
go
all
ahead.
you. All you.
Do I know the stats? Can I write down the stats on this mall? I don't know what it is.
So it is going to be as far as a weapon goes. Tell you what, I'll shoot that over to you in just a second.
Okay.
So
Go ahead and continue.
he's
Can I ask the people at the mayor's if I can just hang around?
What, the
since he
guard?
said- yeah, since he said that he might have an answer for me by the end of the day.
sure. Absolutely. You can ask. How would you say that?
I'm still waiting on a few answers from the administrator. Do you mind if I hang out here while I wait?
She wants to linger.
You can stand outside the door. Certainly. You're more than welcome to do
Still
such.
risky cut that.
Hearing that.
Yeah. Rita's just gonna wait.
You say you're just gonna hang out right
Yeah,
there.
she's just gonna.
I'll
Okay.
sit
Sit
next to her
down
and
and-
start reading.
Oh, and you're gonna hang out there as well.
Yeah, I'll join her, knowing that she's not questing off, and this one wanders off.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm going.
That one
And
wanders
you?
off. You
Because I'm
know.
gonna probably eat after I get my swords.
I really don't have anything else to do.
Okay. So you're
I'm
heading.
going to get them swords first, and then I'll go to where.
Okay.
I'll try and look for it. I don't know if it'll be easy. I think it should be, because it's only one tavern, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
there's-
yeah, I'll find him later. So, got my sword.
You just
Okay, so you head to the blacksmith's, and as soon as you hand over the writ, he looks at you, and then he says, that's guaranteed money. And he says, I have a number of them.
Gimme. I just pointed at him.
Okay.
This is one
He
regular
gives you-
swords. I don't need nothing
And
crazy.
he gives you the two most basic-looking short swords that he has. And he says, there you go, 2 short swords as requested.
I did nothing to earn this, so I'm gonna tell them how you say that. How you just walk out. Thank you. No, no.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good. So I'm about to go eat.
Okay.
sell the rapier.
Yeah, good. You never know when you're gonna drop
All right, so you want to head toward. So the blacksmith's is literally right across the street
Oh, yeah.
from the tavern. So as you walk out, you look to your left, and there's this sign that says "The Fat Pig,"
There it is. I'm
and it is quite obvious what it is.
Right.
Is
Go
there a
ahead.
nice sign outside?
It is not nice.
Oh.
It is. It is.
It's called a fat
It
pig. It
is.
probably ain't
I
nice.
mean, I mean, it's based
I
off
mean, it's
the,
got a person in there with a gore sack, so
Yeah,
That's good too.
It does indeed have a person in there with a gore stack.
not like the
Forgot
shape
about
of a pig rising fire.
I had to replace it after we brought. Oh yeah, what happened to the orc we brought? We forgot about him.
Well, he was in the wagon. I was unconscious.
Oh,
I
we just. I guess we left him
Left him in
there.
the wagon. Oh.
What?
We ain't shit. We ain't shit.
I mean, you should.
I'm supposed to bring him back. I'm so upset. I forgot to write
Half a
that
day's
down.
journey back to them.
Nope. He's
Nah,
there
it
now.
doesn't matter.
Look how you said. He just tied up like.
Did you forget too? You forgot. You forgot.
I won't lie. I forgot the order. Go ahead, throw one at me too.
I
You
didn't
threw,
forget
you
we
threw
had
one at
him.
somebody
I
earlier.
didn't forget we had him. I just forgot where he
Roll for
was.
DM. 7.
Your DM is trash.
Can we just like? Nah.
Really? You
Yeah.
don't rewind all of that?
Retcon.
The ogres.
You know what? I mean, I forgot that one.
Is he really important?
Let's just say that we brought him to the.
I will
That
say
would change a lot.
that you.
We have a prisoner. It's worth more.
I mean,
All right. we're gonna go back. To
so you would have known. You would have interrogated him, and you would have spoken Orcish. And
Okay.
the extent of the information you were going to get from him is that the orcs are going to kill you all.
Okay.
That's why we left him.
And at that point, the natural reaction of one of the strong one would be,
Oh no. See, that wouldn't be my. You don't
No.
know what I want to do. No.
What did you want to do?
Okay. So as he's tied up, I'm going to
He's
chop
like,
off
either you
both of his
tickle-
feet,
There it is.
just his feet,
Just to
and
speak.
untie him, and keep the bag on his head, and just say, "Go on."
Oh my god, it's straight up to the pain. Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
Be like,
Not to the death is the thing.
Oh, and I keep his feet.
oh.
Okay, so you add
So you add feet.
add 2 orc feet to the gore sack.
You can almost build
There
a
is
whole
a
orc.
there is a
Wow, I'm not the throw.
there is an orc.
I
head.
told you I'm trying to build a flesh
Be
golem.
like, is
Too bad the
Violet
one who can do that
actually
is no longer
gone?
with us.
So look, is Violet
She ran
really
off.
going? No. Is this man
I'm a
got
barbarian, okay?
Yeah, you barbaric.
Look, every one of these is an intimidation roll waiting to happen.
What's happening? Like,
I,
got 2
I am
feet in here.
intimidated.
Cock-a-doodle-doo.
I am so intimidated right now. So yeah, that's the extent of the information that you would have gotten.
Alright, and
from
now I
your-
fully expect for him to come back on the rival system and have like a new name and be a boss character.
Interesting.
The Shadow of Mordor?
Yes, that's exactly.
Yeah.
He gets it. He's gonna come back with those like runner's feet.
We can rebuild him, but in orcish.
Let's call him War Boss.
The fleet
That's
footed.
3 different references. Alright, I'm done. Yes. Can I have like you're not a waitress. I don't want to like order you to get me something. Can I have like a bottle of water?
He like, I just need some.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Fair
It
enough.
only takes like 1 drink for me to get rowdy.
I figured.
Is that what happens? Is that how you
Right.
act this way?
Yeah.
We need a director's camera
Yeah.
to catch Hollis's like smug smirks
He like,
when he's sitting over there. Why don't you lean in front of one of the cameras just so that
so we can
shit's
see this smirk.
for posterity.
I'm good.
Okay. Fucker. Anyway, so Gorm the Strong One makes his way to the Fat Pig.
Yeah.
Rena and Swinford maintain their position outside the doorway at the mayor's office in hopes that some sort of information comes out sometime soon, and Ren has picked up his shiny, new, basic-ass short sword
Basic ass. They got
and
this.
then quickly made his way to the Fat Pig.
Yes. I'm finna eat.
Finny. Okay. And with that, you enter the Fat Pig and you see Gorm the Strong One already.
Tan something.
Tankard in hand and sousing himself in ale.
Yeah.
Okay.
Be like, I want what he's having.
Boasting stories of his heroic accomplishments and brazenly showing off the wounds he had received from the giant tree that smashed against his iron-corded bosom.
I was just about to say ample bosom.
Wrong fantasy.
Not just Swinford.
Yeah. Oh, okay,
Uh,
Swindle.
Hey.
We get you, Swindles.
You eat the not.
So you're telling your stories and you attract a crowd.
As is customary.
As it is, I mean, such as it is in a backwater town like this. there are townsfolk that are hanging on every word, and they see the evidence of the beating that you have taken and the trophies that you have stored in your sack of gore.
I'm in the crowd listening, eating the leg, like, yep, he sure, look, he sure did, he sure did. That's how I got these swords.
Did you see that picture of The Rock? But he's Togusa from Yu Yu Hakusho,
so
and then he has a little guy on his shoulder, and
Little,
it's Chris Hart. I imagine it's sort of like that.
That's literally how it is.
That's
We're gonna
That's
develop
what
that. We're gonna develop that
Yeah.
type of relationship in this.
Okay.
I'm gonna be like, yeah, he sure did, yeah. Because
So,
I'm a bard.
Ren is
Go ahead.
Ren is Gorm's hype man.
like, yeah, I remember.
Wow.
More
Okay.
like number one fan.
Toss a coin to your gorm.
To your Gorm.
To your gorms.
Pulls out his drums.
Okay. Is there anything that either of you wish to accomplish by this?
I want to
I'm
eat
in full
successfully.
revelry mode. He's just drinking and carousing,
Yeah, I'm
and
just sitting there.
impressing the rabble
Yeah.
with his story, with his war stories,
Yeah, I'm
as is
eating
the
and
wont of
listening.
the barbarian race.
Yeah, I'm just eating, listening, and playing music every now and then to random things he says.
Okay.
That's what I do.
Okay, so you're just strumming whichever stringed instrument you may have.
I got a flute.
You got the Doom soundtrack on that, right?
Wow. I got on the flute? No, on the
talking
VO.
about
I
Rip
can
and
do it.
Yeah, rip and tear.
That's actually hilarious. I can do that on a VO. I won't do it on the flute.
Fair enough. But no, we are. It's just simply
Yeah.
passing the time for Gorm as he regales this filthy populace with his stories of grandeur.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm just enjoying it because it's helping me catch up with what
You know,
what
since
the group
his
has
the
done.
whole point of his existence is to bring glory to the last of his tribe,
Time
which is him.
Well, let's do this then.
skip.
Time skip.
Make a performance check
Okay.
and do it with advantage because you have musical accompaniment.
Lit.
19.
19. Okay. So the townsfolk,
You have performed.
the
I
five
have like a
of them
weirdly
that are
large charisma for a
Yeah.
barbarian.
the five of them that are in there when you enter swells to 10 and then 15, and before long there are about 20 people crowded into this room and they're listening to your stories and they are buying your ale and they are buying your food. They are completely enamored of the barbarian who has come into town and who has defeated the orcs that would dare to raid the farms south of town along the river's bank. And
I'm trying to remember.
they
the
are
character
expressing
that I
their
feel like my
gratitude
character
both
would
for
be.
your ability to weave a tale as well as your the exploits that you have performed in them.
Fair enough.
There you go.
Hopefully that attracts the next quest giver.
No, hopefully.
Yeah, the guy walks in with a giant exclamation mark on his head.
Oh.
Like, interesting, that.
Oh, that looks like a main character.
Yeah,
Hey, buddy.
You have a quest.
Hey, buddy.
the one with the spiky anime hair that doesn't match everybody else.
Right.
With
That bulb is
that,
gonna explode. I know that one.
because it doesn't seem like I'm taking cues from the players now. With that, make a perception check.
I'm still reading. I'm
I'm gonna do it too. I don't know why I rolled too.
You gotta admit that piranha plant looks cool as
It's
shit.
beauty.
I thought about getting another drink, but I want to be awake.
Is
Thank you.
that on camera?
No, it's about to be.
Oh, slide that piranha plant on camera.
so
That just looks
that's
sharp.
great.
For that one.
What was that?
I rolled a
That
3.
sounds peaceful.
A what?
I rolled a 3.
A 3
Yes.
for your perception check.
Yes, I'm very drunk.
You are sloshed at this point because
Yes.
they have not let your tankard empty.
going this slosh.
Me and,
This
me
just
and
means that my
Lauren
rage
was in
just
the
doesn't stop
tavern,
until-
going hard.
You're always angry?
Story.
Is that where we're at?
Signing.
Okay.
That's a feat, right?
There's Tavern Brawler, so Tavern.
I actually thought about taking that.
Tavern
Some
Entertainment.
stories and I'm like, yeah.
Alright, so I don't see anything.
You got a big clock around your neck.
I dropped an 18 with a perception. Perception's 5. So 18 plus 5. I see everything.
18 plus 5,
I'm
so that's a
peeping.
23.
I see everything.
So Gorm sees fuck all. Gorm
Because
is...
he turned up, he drunk.
Oh, he is beyond drunk. At this point, they don't even understand the words that he's speaking, but he's gesticulating
He's
with
randomly
such
speaking
fervor.
ogre. He's randomly
And there's so much just like froth flying forth. They're in it, and they are totally bought in. You, however, you see
Yeah, I'm peeping everything.
in this crowd, as you occasionally play whichever instrument it is that you've
All of
decided
them.
on.
One-man band.
I'll be randomly playing instruments.
I regret introducing the horn at this point.
Hey, I know he blew it one time, failed horribly, but everyone laughs like,
And
wow.
then
Wow.
I took this horn from a bitch.
So, in the midst of all the farmers, you see a pair in the crowd. One of them elven, and one of them human. The elf is with a 23. The elf is, you can see that he's dressed with no armor, but has an air of confidence about him, and even a shimmer of power. You have no doubt that he is a magic user in some way, shape, or form, just by the books that are attached to his
and crushed his windpipe with my strong
his
hands.
hip by the the leather
fool
strap
stood
that binds
nothing.
them.
They stood no chance against my power. Waitress, another tankard. Bring me ale, wench.
In the middle of me saying this, it's just like, yeah, Gorm, yeah. yeah. But no, yeah.
The other one,
Behold the mall of the old captain. Here, I've placed
doing
it
this
upon
shit on
the
purpose.
counter.
It distracted me, actually.
It's just background noise.
No, I get it. No, yeah, Gorm, yeah.
Hey, check this out. Look at this cool ass scar.
It's just Gaston's song at this point.
He said, hey, check
When
this
I
out.
was
Look at
alive."
this cool ass scar. The best barbarian on earth. Check this out.
Sorry,
Check this
DM,
cool
we're too
ass
fun.
scar. I'm sorry, but yeah, elvish with power and human with what?
the human is obviously a fighter of some sort. He has a sword that is hipped, hooked to his belt. See, you've just completely fucking ruined me at this point. So he's got
I'll
a
just leave
sword
it
that
run
is
for a sec.
sheathed,
Yeah.
and okay, now you're gonna leave.
I'll be right back. I gotta go get mozzarella
He
sticks.
has to
I'm-
leave or it
I'm-
won't get
I'm-
anywhere. Gorm's stories continue in real life.
And so I crushed his skull.
So
Don't make me spit this out.
please don't.
I was trying to.
You don't have to clean it up.
No. Okay.
So with that, yeah, he has a sword that's sheathed at his hip. It has a shield strapped across his back, and he is obviously confident in his ability to use those. And they are watching and listening with great intent. On both of these guys, you see a particular ring. It is a signet ring of some sort. With that 23, there is a piece of obsidian that is set into the ring itself, and there's an etching. It is a rune, and with a 23, that rune it's just barely etched into it, but it is simply that. And you've never seen it before. You have no idea what it is, but that is what you perceive as you look these guys over. in addition to that, with the
And
23,
beguiling
they
fool
God
right.
bless it. We had achieved some. I had
I'm glad
actually
I
gotten some
learned something.
cohesive shit going on,
learned.
and then Gorm the strong
That's
one
how
returns,
far we got.
and I crashed his fucking skull.
I cut both of his feet off. Here!
Like while I'm looking, I'm sitting here like, what is that? And Ren here. Shit.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, Gorm. Yeah.
Join me in Merry
He's
Mirth,
like-
compatriots.
Look, he
Pay
gets
no
knocked out.
attention to this rabble.
So you see that, and without that 23, you don't really notice the detail of that carving inside that signet ring specifically. But both of them wear this particular signet ring, and they are watching Gorm the Strong One with great intent and hanging on every word.
So I peep it. I'm just seeing it as of right now. So I'm just watching what they're doing while he's telling me. You know, I'm still engaged in that. But I do see them. So I got you.
He's giving me the Jackie Chan treatment. Hey man, what's that?
Yeah.
But you can tell us
What is that?
He's like, what the fuck? But no, okay. So alright, I guess yeah. There's some adventures in here, but I'm chilling right now. I'm just trying to see what they're gonna do while he's telling that story. But you saying they're like intently like,
Yeah, I mean they're into the story.
It
And-
sounds as though we'll not be making the first move here. I just continue carousing, of course, and up until the point where my feet become unsteady with the mirth of the booze
you've
that
long,
I have
you have
ingested.
long
you've fallen
achieved
over
that.
twice.
You
Yes.
you are
Smack me
stagger
in the
slurring
head.
all
I
over the
lost
place.
3
Yeah,
HP.
I mean
a lot.
it's ugly drunk at this point,
Yes, and at this point,
and you've actually started to lose a couple of listeners at this point because you've grunted through the same story probably 3 times now,
fantastic.
and they're starting to ease out. Some of them are still hanging on it. Some of them are a little frightened to leave,
Excellent.
and yeah.
Trying to leave.
Well, unless something happens after that point, with Gorm having exhausted his tales of grandeur and feeling the effects of the ale upon him, has to go, expatriate some of these
Yep.
toxins from his body.
Absolutely.
We just happened to walk straight past. No, just looking up.
And
But,
so he shoves himself through the crowd without much, love for the sport, and finds his way outside to relieve himself of all of this disgust.
Sure. So you head straight out the.
I'm gonna make sure that he specifically pushes those 2 people out of the way that he did not know or see. There you go. Now they have to interact with me.
Right, I'm walking past. Well, I'm walking with him, so I see
So-
that happen, and I'm kind of like eyeing them.
As you're walking towards them,
Oh,
they're actually walking towards you. As it looks like you're about to walk out,
Okay.
they're coming towards you, and then you still muscle your way through them.
Well, I certainly attempt to. I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna just roll an athletics to see if I can
Definitely
stay on my
gotta
feet.
see
So
if I
make
have
an
that
athletics
stamina
check
right
with
now.
disadvantage.
Yeah, that's
Fantastic. Yes, I love role playing. I've got a 15.
15. So
I have a 5 in athletics.
Disadvantage. That man's like, I get drunk and beat ass. Damn.
So, inebriated as you are, I mean, you stagger towards the doorway and you see these. At this point, they're so blurry.
These
there are
blobs.
2 darkly dressed shapes
These
that.
Roblox. He's like, I walk towards the Roblox.
We're getting nothing in
No.
shape today.
We're not.
All right.
I can just imagine that.
I'm listening. I promise.
I'm trying.
I'm
I
listening.
swear.
I'm listening.
I'm sorry, we're going.
This is a bet. Go. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Just sitting on the stoop, just reading. Not even
That man, look up. You with a banana.
little shouts from town, and I'm just like,
So you stagger your way towards the two.
Yes.
Roblox. I can't. That's just funny. I can't.
I'm running out of
Stop.
shit to throw over
No,
here.
stop.
Everything else
Here.
is too heavy.
You're
It's
gonna
gonna
need
hurt.
I promise. Let's move. I'm moving this
I'm
plot
done. I'm
forward
stopping.
now.
I'm
Let's
You
move the
are.
plot
right now.
forward.
We're stopping now.
So you stagger into the two darkly dressed individuals, trying not to say Roblox, and as you stagger into them and you push your way past the one, he's slightly built, so he moves out of the way. The second one, however, as you try to muscle past, he's quite sturdily built, and he does not cede or give way. He simply grunts at you and says, "Those are impressive stories you're telling. How much of it's true?"
I vomit on him.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
That's real life.
yeah.
That's a real as hell. It's like, oh, this is like,
So, in
Yeah.
as the
I said
as
if
the
this-
look crosses your face that he quickly sidesteps, and instead of being a full frontal, he sidesteps it and happens to just get some on the left pant leg and boot, and seems severely distressed at this fact. You obviously
throw
can't
up.
hold your liquor.
as soon
and-
as he throws up, I just go.
You must forgive me. It's been some hours since I began to partake of the mead here.
This is most obvious indeed.
So,
He leans around you at this moment and kind of steps over your pile and helps his companion back over into the
I would
conversation.
offer to aid you, but I have nothing clean on
I
my
don't think
person.
at this I don't think at this point you're capable of aiding yourself.
You're funny. You're funny,
Indeed.
small man.
Indeed. Now, for context,
Oh, this one's big.
this is a big guy,
You're funny, small one.
maybe 2 inches shorter than Gorn. Yeah. So he's stoutly built, but relatively tall.
Okay.
So, how much, now that you've made it, you've cleared your your ability to speak, how much of that was actually true, and how much of it was just idle boast? Be honest now.
Gorm the Strong One does not boast idly. He carouses and lives life to the fullest, but he does not lie.
How interesting. And so you're with him at this. I mean, you're.
Oh yes,
You're-
this small one. He helps me in fights.
I'm just laughing. I kind of just laugh.
You're a funny one as well, Gorm the Strong One.
Be like, yeah, I was there. They
So you witnessed the things that he describes.
I've witnessed most of them in the team that we fight with. Yeah, we're pretty much
Invaluable soak for the maul of my enemies.
soak.
Translation.
We're like meat shields. Look, but yeah, no, look, yeah, we it's good. But yeah, no, I've witnessed the tales.
I'm so sorry that
They're
we're taking up
definitely
all
true.
this time.
No,
Just stealing the spot.
You guys-
I'm
they're
enjoying
waiting
You guys
on.
absolutely get your spot.
They waiting on somebody to just tell them something. So we just.
I'm getting
enjoying it.
far.
it.
I'm on chapter 6 of the book. It's great.
So yeah, I could just be
That
like,
he-
I've witnessed the tales. They're true.
They are true. How
Harry gets
interesting.
the Hogwarts. It's great.
Well, we actually.
Harry gets the Hogwarts.
I'm listening, I
We've
promise.
I'm not. No, look.
I know. So,
So Roblox one.
well, the diminutive one straightens himself, collects himself, and steps over and introduces himself. He says, "I am a tour. I am of this town. I've been here for some period of time."
Almost made a joke.
Yeah,
Yes.
please don't.
We can't.
And well, and his larger companion introduces himself at this point. I am Haran, where Atur is more magical in nature. I have, you fucker. You can't even.
It's too easy.
I'm listening. I'm listening.
I can definitely appreciate the tales that you were telling, and I'm just curious where these orcs may have come from and where they originated. Do you have any idea as far as all that goes? Because all that we heard was
Boom. Gorm slams his hands down on the shoulders of these people and smiles broadly. Compatriots, I will revel you with more tales of my heroism and the curs that fought us, if you'd but sit down with me and give me more ale.
Yeah.
I don't think you require more ale at this point
Nonsense!
in the evening.
Come, sit. I will regale you with the story of the night in more detail with a clear conscience. Let me just step outside and soak my head in water first.
Okay. So at this point, they sit down, intent upon that.
Hear my conscience.
They
I'm
invite
sitting
you to sit at the table with them?
I'm just gonna sit down and I'm gonna look and go, what is that? The ring. I'm just gonna point at the ring because I want to know.
Where are these two?
You do that.
I'm still reading.
That's actually what I'm about to get to. Okay, so you actually do that, and we'll
Yeah,
get
he's
back.
with her.
We'll
at
get
the
back to
mayor,
that in
but
just a
I'm-
second.
Yeah, but I'm.
Thank you.
We're sitting on the stoop.
So the two of you.
No, it's you. They're on you now.
Yeah.
Oh, they're on this.
Sit your.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's your turn.
Sorry.
No, no.
She's very welcome.
We've had our stupid shit happen.
I had great stuff going on. That's so great.
Really?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Look at that.
At this point, the two of you still sit on the mayor's stoop, such that it is.
Stupid kids.
You still sit.
Stupid.
I'm sorry!
Shit just keeps coming out of his
Word-
mouth.
word
There's literally
association.
no fucking filter for this guy.
Word association is so dangerous.
I'm over here. I'm done. I'm quiet.
I saw it.
I'm quiet.
I used to watch that show a lot.
No, man.
No,
It's
go
fine.
ahead.
It's
Go ahead.
fine.
The stoop kid? Yeah.
Stoop kids.
You both sit there and you wait for a while, to be quite honest. When you came into town, it was maybe 2 or 3 hours after midday, and it has eased on into the evening.
Okay.
And the administrator has not come out, has not sent word or anything like that. The guard has not left his post either, though. You, in your reading, which book would you have started with?
Theory of Chaos Wild Magic. I would first, after looking and kind of noticing that everyone's poor, notice that nobody's a threat, and then look at whatever he might have slipped in kind of separately.
Got it.
That's what
Okay.
I would have done first before opening a book.
So the chaos theory surrounding wild magic. The information that you get from your initial reading of it is that in the at some point in the previous 500 years, there was and this is actually written from the perspective of not having discovered Southern Route, or rather not having explored it. But in the previous 500 years, there was a catastrophic magical event, and it appears to have created a substantial disturbance which split Rue in half, or broke part of Rue off, and caused the giant whirl, the maelstrom that exists in the strait between North and South Rue.
Now that I've seen the map, that makes sense.
Now that you've seen the map, that makes sense. Additionally, it surmises that the ley lines were broken during that catastrophe, and that chaos magic itself, wild magic, it's referred to as chaos magic typically in this book. results from that deviation in the ley lines, where there were crossings that did not exist previously, and at this point, that's about as far as you've made it into this book. Now, I will say that as you open the book, what you did find on the very first page was the particular scroll that he had actually offered to Gorm. It's folded up, and it is sealed.
Probably just says Gorm's a dumbass on it.
Well, the last scroll I opened exploded.
Yeah, that man ain't really fond to open the scrolls.
Yeah, no, I'll take one of the daggers that I have and slowly, very carefully, more than the last scroll,
You're a steal.
You're
peel
opening
the seal and
Okay.
look
So
at
you
it.
pop the seal. Go ahead and make right. As soon as you open it, you flip it open. It's not trapped or anything like that. Taking a look at it, it is obviously a scroll of identify.
Awesome. Make a mental note of that for future usage.
So, and you witnessed the administrator slide that into the book. So it seems that he has gifted you with something a little bit more than just the knowledge.
Gotcha.
So, as you sit and wait, is there anything you wish to do?
Can I look around? Can I start walk down the hall? Are we outside of the
You're
office or outside of the
No, you're outside
building?
the building. Yeah.
Can I look around the outside of the building for? Last time we were there, someone kind of slipped in to the building.
Right.
Where they,
So the last time you were there, you guys were in.
the back. Right?
This is not going to be to scale. Yep, there was a small building on the back, and then the mayor's actual abode. It's a much larger building.
That's the one I blew up.
Is that a permanent marker or a Sharpie?
It's an erase marker. It's erasing.
Thank goodness.
So
No, it's a permanent marker.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a wet
permanent
erase.
now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that to you, I promise.
Look at how
Gordon would.
Look at how Yeah. No, look at
What?
He was looking like.
I thought it was like a Sharpie for a second.
The way that it was.
Yeah.
No. So, door there. So, where you saw the person slip in at was in this back door as you were going back into this building.
Is there a way that I can walk around and possibly
That'd be great.
check out the back of
Yeah.
the building?
Yeah.
Or is it heavily guarded?
So, you are most certainly welcome to try. I would need you to make a.
Well, you gotta low roll it out.
You can make a stealth check.
Stealth.
She ain't about to die for
As she
nothing.
starts wandering off, I'm just gonna be safe, my dear.
Hold on,
Continue
wait.
reading.
Yeah, I'll get it for you.
Thank you.
Don't do anything
Oh
stupid.
man.
Yeah,
It's
-2, right?
It's a 7.
Oh, okay.
She did something stupid. Next page.
Oh yeah, I've got a little spray bottle full of stuff there. If you want. Well, I guess everyone does.
Hey, who doesn't bring their spray?
Right, everyone's a DM.
Bring 2 buckets.
No, man, they bring 2 buckets.
Do you feel better about the situation?
Massively.
Excellent.
It's 7.
A 7?
Yeah.
Okay, so you begin to try to wander off to the side. That's fine. And
And clothes fly off. You ain't doing that.
as you begin to walk that direction, he says, please don't wander off.
But
If you don't mind, just wait here at the front so that I can see you. It's not to say that we distrust you, because we're grateful for what you've done for Duran, but all the same, this is
Very
this
Most
is the
useful
mayor's
member of our
property.
party.
What's that?
I said she's the most useful member of our party.
it's unfortunate.
She means no harm.
I fully expect that
Uh,
and understand that. However, I have a duty to perform, and I have to perform that. You both understand, I'm certain.
I get paid to do this. Says.
I get paid to do this.
It's my job, I said.
Just doing my job, yeah.
I said it gotta be the important part of the sentence.
So after a while of just sitting there in silence with Stefan and reprimanding you once, he says, if you'll give me a couple of moments, I'll check with the administrator and see if he'll be out this evening with any further information on what you're expecting. Oh, we doing that?
Congratulations.
Can I get
not
a
who food.
Can I get a who food on
No, sorry.
solo?
Close, sorry.
One solo?
he said
Solo?
One solo?
Uno
Yeah,
mas.
One solo?
Aren't you streaming?
I got you.
Aren't you streaming?
I
You're
am.
on stream.
Yeah, we're on stream. That doesn't mean we can't
There's no
have
camera.
Can I get one solo?
Sure.
Thank you.
That man looked at the
Look at the
at
damn
the
computer
production.
screen. There's cameras everywhere. I'm gonna look at the damn computer screen. What's
He
up?
looked at the only thing that can't record video.
That gentleman
Wait,
is very
Jack.
low on intelligence. It's fine.
He
No.
rolled a 3.
His character creation was not that great.
I can detect thoughts, but that's about it.
There's no thoughts. No, there's no thoughts to detect on that one. It's fine.
That's fine. That's just not even nice. Anyway, so here we go. So the administrator goes inside, or the guard goes inside to check with the administrator, and he returns briefly and says, unfortunately, the administrator has been called away to something pressing. And you know for a fact that the administrator has not left the building. I don't know exactly when he'll return, unfortunately.
Can I roll persuasion to see if I can call his bluff?
What would that be?
Call his bluff.
Can I
that would
ask
be a
him?
That'd be insight, I think.
Insight.
Yeah.
So you
with
could
insight,
you could
'cause
make
that's-
an insight check
yeah.
to see if you actually
Like,
believe
would
that.
you, like,
He's
yeah.
lying.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, if you
Well,
want
I
to
mean,
see
you
if he's
should
actually
kind of know
lying.
he's lying, but it's about like, I see what you're trying to say. Like you're trying to like figure out if you could be like,
To confirm.
are you gonna
Yeah.
sit here and bullshit me? Because you should know that. Like,
That
she
would
should
still be an-
definitely know that.
It's still going to be an insight check to kind of check the veracity of what he's saying, because it's going to be very much a body language situation that you're trying to read here.
I will
So
continue.
insight?
Yep.
I'll continue looking at my book, but I'm not really reading. I'm just listening to
The
this.
spirit of Gorm comes over and slaps that book out of your hand.
Oh, you good?
20.
I'm just more
20?
powerful for a second.
You 100% believe what he's saying.
I worked out in the library.
You have absolutely no doubt that what this man just told you, he believes with the core of his being.
Oh, saying he believes it,
Oh, absolutely.
but whether it's true or not isn't the case.
Right.
Oh,
So hearing that, basically we're being put on hold indefinitely at the moment. Close my book, stand up, and I would like to use my feature Heart of Darkness while I
what the
speak
fuck
with
is
him.
going on now?
Okay, why don't you tell me what Heart of Darkness is?
Those who look into your eyes can see that you have faced imaginable horrors, and you are no stranger to darkness. Though they might fear you, commoners will extend you every courtesy and do their utmost to help you. Unless you show yourself to be a danger to them, they'll even take up arms to fight alongside you should you find yourself facing an enemy alone.
Okay.
So suddenly eyes grow just slightly dark. You will notice this, but his eyes are normally pretty dark, just enough to be like something's eerie though. Go. I trust that you're telling us the truth. I completely understand. Please let us know the moment, because the moment we can speak to him again, this is of the utmost importance. I appreciate your help in this matter and your honesty.
Well,
As I just make direct.
Hey,
eye
man, you need
contact.
glasses over there?
As I pull out my huge lenses now.
Oh, sorry, my eyes just dilated a bit. Just came back from the optometrist.
Not necessarily intimidation, just a.
so, I mean, he looks at you and seems taken aback by what he sees. It's like, well, I will absolutely send for you the moment that he returns. I can guarantee you with. I mean, obviously we haven't seen anyone walk out this doorway, but I tell you with absolute honesty that he is not within these walls. And the moment that he returns, I will send for you. Are you staying anywhere specific or in particular? Do you have rooms?
I assume we'll be staying at the inn, being there's only one in town. So if you need us,
Well, then we'll send for you as a matter of courtesy and in thanks for what you've done for Duran. I will fetch you personally, and we will absolutely get the information that you were promised. And we apologize for the inconvenience. Unfortunately, other matters have drawn him from here.
absolutely. Eyes go normal again. We appreciate it. Thank you. I'll drop him. Not even trying to hide or anything. I'm going to give him another one of my little nuggets of gold from that sack. And not as a bribing way, just as a friend.
This is
We
not a
appreciate it,
tipping
friend.
industry. You know that,
Thank
right?
you.
Not for you, but please, as soon as you can, and we'll take our leave.
Yes.
Thank you. Trying to determine if it would be offensive, he puts it in his
Yep.
pouch.
Just clear up all
And
friendly. Thank you, sir.
There you go.
Off we go.
That
We
happens.
are going.
All right. And is there anything else? Are you guys gonna hang out there? You have any other particular thing or
Probably
direction?
just head back to the inn.
Head back towards the
We're
inn. Okay, cool. So you head back towards the inn, and it is definitely in the late hours of the afternoon / early hours of the evening. The sun has begun to go down, and as you begin walking up towards the inn, you witness Gorm the Strong One splashing some water on his face from the horse trough. No, that doesn't happen. I
His
tell you
head
what.
goes
Why don't you
his head.
go ahead?
Gorm stumbles outside, his boots dragging across the
Almost drowns
the muddy ground, and he finds the nearest basin of water that he can. Unfortunately, the horse trough. Grabbing unsteadily on the sides, he submerges his entire head in the water and shakes as much as he can. Pulling out and smelling vaguely of horse saliva, he stumbles back in, yet somewhat clearer of head and heart.
And hard.
Head and heart.
His heart is cleared.
And I assume at this point that the intent was to enter the inn.
If we arrive just as he's walking back in.
Oh yeah, no, I turn around and see you guys, and he's like, "Ah! You! And the wench. Come! We're talking with some people who seem pretty important."
Twins.
Twins!
That's your
Twins!
I'll just, make eye contact with Marina and just kind of roll eyes and then
He said, "You and the wench."
gently walk in.
Where he sees me.
So as you enter, you see the bard whose acquaintance you had recently made at the farm, who accompanied you obviously with the orcs.
Yep.
And on the way back, seated at a table with
Yeah, I gesture them over.
absolutely, and there is plenty of seating at this point.
There's such a lack of knowledge going on from the first party to the second party.
That was the hope. I like splitting the
insane.
parties. It's great.
Who you're talking to right now?
Yeah, I know exactly, but I can't know exactly what this is.
Shit.
So as we're walking in, I'm just gonna
Fuck.
slowly
Oh,
whisper to Rena, who's with me right now. Sorry you had to see that. Here, join us, and I'll let her take a seat.
We're
first.
walking into y'all are walking.
Yeah.
Ah,
I
you and the
just
wench. Come,
assumed-
come.
He said, "You and the wench. You gotta fight." No, I'm just but yeah.
you can.
Sorry, he's from the rural area. He doesn't know any better. Look, he went to community college.
Ah!
So the four of
He
you,
was very charming, though.
take
musical.
take a seat right there at the table with the other two, the two dark clad gentlemen, and
I was like, "See, this is the squad I was talking about." Phase.
Good
And,
evening. Good
you
evening.
know,
Hope we're not interrupting. Can we
prior
join
to
you?
entering
There you
into
go.
this, we're gonna take about a 5 to 7 minute break,
Okay.
and then we're gonna dive into this conversation.